Hello and welcome to Esther's Gardening Adventures. I'm Esther and I have this on because I'm sick of using mosquito bug spray on my face. And there's a nice breeze today, so I'm wearing long sleeve shirts and pants, and I already see mosquitoes circling. I just got here. But wanted to give you an update on my community garden plots and everything else that's been happening with my garden. All right, let me put this back on and let's get started. Here is one of my 2 community garden plots. This is how they look at this stage. You can see I'm still getting a few tomatoes, but the tomatoes are pretty close to done. And then you'll see in the other garden bed, I am getting some peppers and other things. But one thing that I am having some luck so far with is this melon. I think this is a Cinderella pumpkin. I can't remember, but look down here is this beauty. She's a nice size. She's looking healthy. No rot or anything like that underneath. Now the weed whackers came through with their mower, and there was another one that was over here that was they mowed up, and you could see the chunks of them breaking that one up. But that one has survived thus far, and I'm probably going to put move one of these metal stakes or something around this one so that they'll avoid it. But it doesn't look like they mowed that close to the garden, so I might be able to get it to survive. All right, let's see what's going on inside the plot. One of the things I have started doing is switching from my summer crops to beans and other things that I can have in the fall. These can also be planted in the summer. I just didn't get around to planting beans. So I think these are green beans, and they're looking pretty healthy overall. I haven't watered anything for a week, and we haven't had a lot of rain, and yet still they're doing good. Beans tend to be a little hardier. And I have a couple edamame plants over here as well, in between these weeds that I planted seeds at. These leaves here are for a volunteer vining bean, which produces, let's see if it's got any that it's produced yet. Well, there's a flower, so they'll be producing some beans soon. But oh, there we go. Here's some. These are long beans, and you don't want to eat them until they're really fully mature and full size, because they're just too fibrous. But yeah, that's what these guys produce, and they volunteered from seeds I planted last year, plants I had last year, so they're kind of taking over these 2 tomato plant areas. But that's fine, because it actually makes the tomato plants look like they're healthy, when in reality these tomato plants are struggling a little bit. This tomato plant is the Pinocchio's red tomato, and it's sort of like a red disc-shaped tomato. You can kind of see the shape here. I've actually enjoyed these this year. They actually the stem doesn't take up much of the tomato itself, so you actually can cut pretty close to the top of the tomato and not hit any sort of harsh chunky pieces. So I appreciate that. The Pinocchio's red has done pretty well for me this year. And I'm still getting plenty of cherry tomatoes, both from this plant, and that one is right next to an anthill, but it's still got lots coming in. And the real surprise amid all this is I've been able to keep this snapdragon plant alive. It bloomed in the spring, and I've made sure to water it, and it has survived all season and has kept producing flowers. In the summer it kind of petered out. But I'm about to plant a bunch of snapdragon seedlings in this bed over here that needs to be weeded again, but for next year for my cut flower garden. And it's just really encouraging to see that they can do well here, especially with just a little bit of shade from the trees. Another thing I want to show you over here is this, and I'll put the name of it because I took a photo of it when I planted it in that bed over there, but it has vined out, and I have found that vining plants this year have generally done better for me than vining squash and pumpkins have generally done better for me than the bush ones, and I think it's because they can spread out and root beyond where the pests are getting to them. But I have to check, but I think these are ready to harvest. Let's see, where are they? There it is. Clearing out the weeds. Look at that. I think that's ready to harvest. I think I'll harvest that today before I leave. There's 2 of them, and they're nice little winter squash, and I'd kind of given it up for dead, but it has vined on its own. It kept going into the neighbor's area, and I was like, no. And I kept bringing it back here. But yeah, so squash, the melons and pumpkins, getting possibly some later on this year. So in my last video, I talked about how I'm starting a cut flower garden, and part of that includes in the fall planting seedlings that can get established before winter comes and are hardy enough, meaning they can survive in zone 7B where I'm at, to survive the winter temperatures and then really get going and bloom in the spring so I can have some beautiful flowers to cut in the spring. So these seedlings I'm planting here are baby's breath. I also planted some snapdragons, which you can see here, the finished results, and I'm really looking forward to what it's going to look like in the spring. And here is my second community garden plot. These are the cut flowers. Clearly I need to harvest a bunch of flowers today. Down here are a couple of eggplant. Last I checked, there weren't any fruit. I've harvested one from this plant. Haven't really had success with these so far because they really struggled this year. But I might get one more from this plant, I think before the first frost. You can tell the difference between the row that I didn't weed and the row I did weed a couple of weeks ago. It's gone kind of crazy down it. But these are my 2 main pepper plant rows. I have another row further down there. But these have been my bell pepper productive plants, and they're still, some are struggling a little bit, but they've been producing pretty consistently all year. Got some bell peppers there still coming in. They're getting a little more elongated at this time of year. I don't know why that is. They've been more square most of the summer. This is the other pepper bed, and you can see that these struggle more when I don't water them for a week. They're more faded than the other ones. Also, I planted them later than the other ones, so they just never got their roots established very well. But I did see, I did see one that has ripened here. I think this is another, what are you? This is the problem with losing the labels throughout the thing. Let's see. Oh yeah, this is a Ufa Biber brown pepper that's used in Ethiopian spices. So I'm gonna harvest this one and any others that turn brown and let them dry and then turn them into pepper flakes. This is sort of the last remnants of the tomatoes in this community garden plot. These plants I planted super late, and that cherry tomato right over there will be the first I'll be harvesting from that plant. So that tells you how long they took to produce. And this tomato plant, this will be the first one I'll be harvesting from this one. It looks pretty good. I wonder if it got eaten up. No, it looks healthy. It's been bothered by the pests a little bit, but I'll get something out of it. Got some more cherry tomatoes here. And then I was really sad to see that the one stars and moon pumpkin that had been growing has rotted. So I think it's either because it was close to the ground or I just didn't water it enough and therefore it got bad on one end. I'm not sure, but that's a sad thing. I'm gonna leave it fixed up so I don't get confused about it. I don't think there's any others growing on the vine at the moment, but the vine is still going, so we'll see if I get something from that. But all these volunteer zinnias from last year's 2 zinnia plants I grew, these are not part of my cut flower garden. These just volunteered on their own, and I'm very happy to have them. I love them. They had a nice pop of, so that all those are there are like orange and salmon and white and red, whereas these are like pink and some like white pale ones. So it adds to the nice color mix when you're harvesting a whole bunch of zinnias. We've got some like magenta ones. So yeah, I've had a good luck with zinnias this year, which is fantastic because the ones at home I haven't had much luck with. Over here, this is a green bean plant that these are green beans that I planted probably about a month and a half, 2 months ago, the seeds, and I'm starting to get to the point where I can harvest them. So today I'll probably harvest a couple handfuls and we'll have them as our vegetable for dinner. Yeah, these are ready to harvest. So there's only probably 6 plants in here, but hey, it's better than nothing, right? Indoors, I have a few more sets of seedlings going. So these are going to be yarrow. This is a special variety of yarrow that's meant for cut flowers. I don't think it's native, but yarrow can still be beneficial if it's not native. But the ones I grow at home are native. This is going to be foxglove, and did I lose the label for the other one? I see some sprouts of the foxglove. See those little tiny guys right there. Sweet William and black-eyed Susans. So in the backyard, I need to water the roses. I haven't watered them for a while and they're looking kind of unhappy at the moment. But they've been producing well. And then this is where that giant tree branch from this tree fell. If you check the videos that I did, I think in August, about that, and you can see the damage it did to the deck here. They removed the tree, and I had them do some additional trimming of branches up there to help you can kind of see the end of that branch, but it was an arborist doing it. So it was somebody who made sure the tree would stay healthy. I had the city come look at it. So I was really careful. I don't want to kill the tree or hurt it anymore, but I also want our house to be safe. So trimming the tree branches that are weak or could be prone to break were kind of important. So we paid a little extra for that, but the insurance covered the majority of the cost. The New England asters are doing fabulous. They came back this year, they're perennial. You can see just such pretty little purpley flowers, and the pollinators just absolutely love them. And then over here, even though it's a hot mess, the purple mist flower, which is a native to this area, is just doing fabulous. And it actually makes this area look like it's well maintained in comparison. So I'm glad to see the purple mist flower coming in. This winter, I'm going to do a huge amount of work to clean up this area and the area, just the whole backyard, and get it ready for next year and really do some good stuff with it next year. I also have these native plants that I want to plant. So I got these beard tongue foxglove for free. They were doing a giveaway at the farmer's market of native plants. And then this fern I bought, this is here it is. This is a cinnamon fern, which is native to the area. So this is going to go in the backyard, and I haven't decided where the beard tongue foxglove are going to go. But this is also the time of year where you want to be putting any perennials that are ready to be transplanted into the ground that are hardy in your area, in your zone. So these guys are going in the ground this week.